Alright.
We are dudes on dudes fighting, and we are back with a special bonus episode. I'm RJ, and this is my
Ooh,
co-host Stu.
a little bonus action from your boys this week.
A little extra
I
round because
don't know why I did a weird accent there.
there's way too many things going on this time of the year in the fight world.
A, a lot of exciting shit. So we're gonna start this episode by talking about uh, what was, I guess you could call it a fight versus Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. We covered the build up last week, and then we're gonna get into the big boxing fight coming up with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yes,
So,
I'm so excited for
what do
that.
you what do you got to say
Chuck and
about
Tito.
Chuck and Tito?
I
Because
think
fuck,
leading up to it for the last like 5 months, it was like a unanimous. This does not need to happen.
yeah.
Nobody wants to see this fight.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck will obviously lose because he hasn't fought in 8 years, and his last three fights before he retired, he got his ass kicked. And although
Yeah.
Tito is also a bum, like he's been fighting, so he's just in a lot better shape. He's
And
probably
he's beat
improved.
decent guys
Yeah,
recently. Like
yeah.
I mean, that Chael fight, I don't know. There's something fishy about that, but I mean, he still beat Chael, who went on to fucking
Beat
beat who
Rampage. He
he
beat,
he beat Rampage,
yeah,
right? Did he?
yeah.
Okay,
Chael
yeah.
did.
So
And Tito, before Chael, I think he won a fight at Bellator, and he also beat Ryan Bader in the last 3 years. Like,
yeah,
so
and
Tito's a
and
bum
but and Chuck in their prime had already knocked Tito out twice
twice.
in fucking great fashion.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you watch that fight, it was kind of what you. I mean, I thought maybe it would be a takedown and a quick submission. It was heartbreaking
it
to
was
see Chuck
such a
just get
bummer.
fucking knocked out with what, like less than a minute left in the first round. It was
And
just
just
like,
and knocked out by Tito Ortiz. Like,
I know,
Tito's
just
never
that.
won by knockout in his life, and he's getting that win now.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope Chuck isn't. I don't know what promotion would have him. But I really like
I don't know if he
it's
could even get a fighting
why ruin
license.
your
He looked
leg
horrible.
why ruin your legacy too, man. There's other ways to make money. There's I mean I'm not a fighter, so I don't know that feeling, but I mean don't go in there. You like he's a good dad and
Mm.
fucking why go fuck things up with your like you don't want to be have any more head trauma because Chuck's taken some fucking hits over his
Oh
career
yeah.
too.
I was just about to
And
say that, like, for like a minute, like maybe like 10 minutes before the fight, like I was getting pretty excited just because it's
yeah,
a fight. And
of
like I'm a
course.
bit of a daydreamer, like that's what I do for a living. Like I'm a creative dude. So I had this like thought, like, what if Chuck comes out and he just needed 8 years to like reset the old clock, and he comes out and he's like the
Yeah.
Chuck of old, and he just like has steel hands and knocks Tito out silly, does a huge celebration like you were stoked for, and then like
Yeah.
makes a jump back to the UFC, and then maybe a year from now he fights John Jones, because those two always go at it on Twitter all the time, and it'd be like, that would be the greatest redemption story of like Dana tells
Yeah.
Chuck to go home 8 years ago, and he goes home and then
Yeah.
comes back and he fights John Jones. Like that would be so sick. And then soon as like Tito was done his walkout to a horrible Limp Bizkit song, by the way, fucking
Oh, of
Tito.
course.
We cut to
Of
Chuck like
course.
waiting in the wings, and he just had that CTE like blank stare on his face. And I was like, oh, never
Yeah.
mind. He's fucking doomed. He looked like a
He
gladiator going out to a lion. Like he's just gray and skinny except for his gut. It's like, oh
yeah.
no. Where
He's
his
always
his
had that
neck was so
sick gut
skinny. Like
too.
what happened, Chuck? Like, fuck, I thought you were gonna get into shape for this.
I know, man, and it didn't sound like it sounded in interviews like he was trying to convince himself that this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you this before, but like you were like, this could be the saddest thing in MMA ever. This and BJ Penn fighting Yair
Yeah.
Rodriguez was like the most heartbreaking. Like nobody wants to see BJ get beat up like that. Nobody wants to
Nobody
see
wants it.
Chuck get beat up by a
But
fucking douchebag like Tito
at
Ortiz,
least
who he's already knocked out
he's already knocked
twice.
out twice. Both in their prime. But like the thing with
Yeah.
Yair and BJ Penn was just the mismatch and like Yair being so skilled and on his way up and being the future. And we saw him,
Yeah.
look great 2 weeks ago against Korean Zombie. Like that was
Yeah.
hard because you love BJ and he just had no answer for those kicks. But this is
Yeah,
Chuck
and
versus
that was
like a
BJ coming
fucking
out of retirement
yeah.
too.
So that was sad because it's
So,
like, oh, maybe BJ still has it against like the young kids, and it's like, oh no, he doesn't.
yeah.
But then to see Chuck
No.
against another like senior citizen that also still sucks, but like
Yeah.
because Chuck was so slow and was doing that like Frankenstein footwork, like Tito looked
Hmm.
good, but it was like, okay, what was Tito doing for 4 minutes that he couldn't close the distance? Like that just showed again. Like at first you're like, oh man, like Tito is really aggressive and confident, and then you like just look at Chuck doing nothing and backing up, panicking for the whole thing.
He did
He did
nothing. Like he
nothing, and
didn't.
then it's like, oh yeah,
He
Tito
had.
sucks. Like, why did that
Yeah.
take you
He
four
should not
minutes to hit
have
him?
been in there.
Yeah,
But I mean, like, talk about gutless Sallies. Like,
oh man.
I mean, you must have at least liked
Oh, I
that a
did like
bit.
that. I do like a good bad winner. Like you know that. I love a bad winner.
Yeah.
And
So do
Tito
I
invented
too.
bad winning. And that was
I
yeah,
think
he
we.
went through that whole celebration and the like athletic commission was trying to get him to stop because it's like what are you doing, dude? Like this isn't 1997 anymore. But he's still doing this whole
Yeah.
roll the body around and shit. And it was just like
Yeah.
kind of like when Chris Weidman wins by Anderson breaking his own leg, like fucking Chris Weidman's jumping around like it's New Year's Eve. It's like, dude, you
Throwing
didn't.
out his fucking mouthpiece
Yeah, it's
and
like fuck
arms
off.
in
Like
the
you
air. Like,
didn't win. Yeah, like
uh,
that was like a default win. And the same thing happened this week. Like Tito gets the knockout. I guess it's still like, yes, I finally beat Chuck. But he would have known within like 20 seconds that like you're fighting a wounded animal right now. Like
yeah.
there should
Like,
be
and
no
like,
celebration.
do you really think that, like, can Tito really, is he that fucking, is there that little going on in that huge head that he thinks that this is a great victory for him? Like, it's just like, fuck you, man. Like, you beat up a guy who everybody, including you, knew had no business being in that ring. I mean, I'm glad. I hope that fucking Chuck got paid big for
They
it,
didn't get
and he
paid.
can.
They disclosed the purses. Did you see that?
No, what was it?
Chuck got 250 and Tito got 200.
They didn't even fucking get a bill for it, a
Nothing.
mill for it.
They got nothing.
Is
Tito,
that with pay-per-view?
no, that's what Tito said that we got like low base pay because we're getting a huge cut of the pay-per-view. And
I
nobody
don't know
bought
one
that on
person who bought
pay-per-view.
it.
Yeah, no one's buying that. I'm gonna give
Dude,
it
they
2 weeks
put
before
it
Tito
down
throws.
$10.
Yeah, it was on sale like fucking Black Friday, and then they
Yeah, they
had to
did a
like
Black
come out.
Friday 1999, I
Yeah,
think, at one
no one's
point.
buying
Like,
that fucking shit. And then
and
I'm
fucking
giving it.
Oscar De La Hoya, and sorry to cut you off,
Uh,
but Oscar De La Hoya in the fucking announce when he was like promoting the fight, he didn't know any of the other fighters'
no,
names. He
no,
said Chuck's name wrong.
Chuck
Like, it was
Liddell.
just like, oh my god, it was so
It was
like,
so bad.
I was kind of like, oh man, like maybe like a Golden Boy puts on like some big events, like maybe they could be a player in MMA, but I think that like put their stock below like anything to do with MMA. Like that was just like fucking stick to boxing and like
Yeah.
just don't even come back, man. And like,
Because there was a stretch maybe like 2 or 3 years ago when Bellator would have like a freak show main event. Like the main event would be, Ken
yeah,
Shamrock versus like Kimbo Slice or whatever. But the
yeah,
undercard would be legit. So it would always be like, well, that
yeah,
main event was bullshit and probably fixed. Like Ken Shamrock definitely took a dive. But
yeah,
the undercard was pretty sweet. Like you had um, Eddie Alvarez or whoever. Like you had a
yeah.
sweet
Bellator
undercard.
has real deal fighters over
But
there, man.
yeah,
Like
this
like
Golden
a
Boy didn't have
lot of their
shit.
no, and even if they did have shit, we didn't know about it because they didn't promote anybody. They did
You
a
didn't even
worse
know their
job than
name.
any other promotion. Like then it was just
It
fucked,
made
man.
the UPS web or the UFC website look like a Walmart website or
Like a
something. It's like a
million
legit
bucks,
Cineplex website.
like Amazon.
It was Amazon. There was no
Yeah.
website for this fight. It took me forever to get any details.
Oh man,
But
it
yeah, I
was
thought the
just.
same thing. Like, I'm gonna tune into this, and it's gonna be like, oh, Golden Boy can put on a show. Like Canelo and Triple G was like a few months ago, and that was legit.
Mhm.
And then you see this, and it's like, oh, okay,
Other than the
no
judging.
money went into this, and I'm guaranteeing within 2 weeks, Tito and Chuck are gonna come out and say how they got fucked over and didn't get paid.
Oh, for
Like that,
sure. Like
that pay-per-view money in quotes has just disappeared. And
they were. Tito was saying that he was going to make more in this fight than he's made combined his entire career. That's what he was. That's
yeah,
what he was trying to wrap. That the pay per view was going to be so good that he made more in this one single fight than his entire career in the UFC and Bellator.
yeah, that's probably like possible if there was like 2 million pay-per-view buys and they're just telling him like
Yeah.
boxing numbers. Like I don't know what Triple G and Canelo did, but if he Golden Boy, De La Hoya is like, oh yeah, you're gonna get like
Yeah.
1.2 million. Like that's what I always get. It's like yeah, but it's not the same thing. I'd be surprised if
Dude,
they got 200,000 buys. Like I'm thinking this is like a
the
150 tops.
the arena wasn't even sold out yet at the
No,
Forum, and
no,
that's like not that big of a venue, I don't think. And it like the week of the fight, it wasn't sold out,
no.
which is like I don't know, man. I just think the whole thing was sad, and it just fucking didn't need to happen. And Chuck, man, just fucking do a reality TV show again or something, man.
Yeah.
Like just stick to like.
I don't see him
Uh,
quitting though. Like I think he's gonna try and fight again. I could see him in that bare knuckle league and getting his ass destroyed
yeah,
because like no athletic commission's gonna give him a license now. Like he looked horrible, and he's had like four
yeah.
knockouts in a row, losses. Like it's gonna be hard to get a license. So I can see some Indian
Hmm.
reservation bare knuckle fights in Chuck Liddell's future. Probably get paid
Yeah, I
more
mean,
than what he got paid for this Tito fight. Like 200 grand? Like, are you
yeah,
serious? Like, get out of here.
yeah. Honestly, dude, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like that, like I think we've said all that can be said about that fucking piece of shit. Like, oh man.
Okay, let's switch over to
I feel bad for Chuck, and it hurts my heart. You know,
well,
it's
because you
just
know that he's not coming back for any other reason than the money.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I think it was part of that, and just like these fighters for some reason can't step away, and like I don't know, maybe somewhere inside of him he thought he could still compete, like he could hit him with that shot, but like it was never gonna happen.
No.
And our prediction, like, I'm a dreamer just like you, so just said, yeah, Chuck by first round knockout.
Yeah.
Like, I just wanted that
Yeah,
so
yeah.
bad that I couldn't. Again, I hate Tito so much, I just couldn't go the other way for me. But yeah, it was what it was. It happened,
I can put
unfortunately.
myself in Chuck's fucking blue shorts and mohawk and think like I need to fight to get some money, and I
Mm-hmm.
know I can beat Tito. Like I can't get
Yeah,
back in the UFC or anything like that, but like I've got Tito's number. I beat him twice on pay-per-view, countless times in the gym when we were training partners. Like I can beat Tito. So he goes for that
yeah.
fight, and then just how horribly it went. Like it must crush any hopes of him thinking that I'm gonna have a second career.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah. He's
what can he
done.
take away from
He's
that and go like, well, but at least I had this. It's like you didn't do anything.
Yeah, and Chuck's a notorious party animal.
Yeah,
Like, if you're gonna be one of those guys who, like a Floyd Mayweather or something, who are gonna be fighting until they're old and can still do it, you have to stay in the gym all that time, stay
yeah.
in shape, stay on your diet, stay on everything. Keep keep in the gym like you never stopped. You can't just like what was he doing? He just was getting a paycheck for doing nothing at UFC because he was Dana's boy for so long.
Yeah.
Like, he literally, yeah, he had no business in there. But you know who does have some business in the ring? My boy Tyson Fury taking
Tyson
on
Fury,
Deontay Wilder.
the Bronze
So,
Bomber.
so yeah, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber. This is the biggest heavyweight boxing match in forever.
Yeah.
Like, in the longest time. And
Yep.
like, we decided to name this show Dudes on Dudes Fighting instead of Dudes on Dudes MMA because we do love boxing. It's just there's so much MMA to cover
Yeah.
that, like, we normally touch on that, but we always, like, have a place in our heart for boxing. And, like, I grew up like a huge Mike Tyson fan.
Yeah. Of
I
course.
was young, but I'd always watch the fights and everything. And, like, my uncles were like would box back in Scotland a little bit. And pretty funny story. My dad always played soccer and his brothers boxed, and like the Celtic club, which is the Glasgow Celtic, is like our soccer team. The club was right next door to the boxing gym, so they're in there having a few pints, and my uncles were like, "Come on, just come on over. We'll spar. We'll fight a little bit. It'll be fun." So my dad finally agrees to go step in the ring. The bell rings. He walks out and fucking knocks his brother out with one punch. And then his brother gets up. My uncle, I think it was my Uncle John, gets up. He goes, "What the fuck, man? You're supposed to touch gloves." My dad just had no idea that he was supposed to touch gloves. He just heard the bell and just went out fucking completely kamikaze and knocked his own brother out.
That's a Tito move for sure.
Yeah, my dad's 1-1. I mean 1-0.
Want to know?
1-0 versus family.
But
But
this is a fight of O's. 40-0 Deontay Wilder versus 27-0 Tyson Fury.
yeah,
Unreal.
and two
Unreal.
champions. We got the fucking heavyweight champion of the world versus the linear champion.
Yeah. And
So,
those titles will finally be back on the same person.
mhm.
Fucking sweet.
So what do you like about this fight? Like,
I love the
I
story,
think it's a
the
great
the
this.
redemption of Tyson Fury, but I don't know
Mhm.
if I've bought in yet.
Oh, I'm bought in. I'm all the way in. I don't think these guys hate each other like they're trying to sell the fight. I think it's all going to be hugs and kisses after. But I really think that, like him going through such a public, um, mental breakdown and everything, and then coming back, losing all that weight, sounding smart, looking good, like, but uh, I don't. Deontay Wilder is such a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a really tough fight for Tyson Fury, and like Deontay Wilder's knocked everybody out. What is it? 39
Yeah,
knockouts,
39.
and he's fought some real deal guys.
Yep.
So I mean,
He hasn't fought the same level of real deal guys as Tyson Fury. Like
no,
Deontay's biggest win was what, last fight?
Ortiz.
Ortiz's last fight. Like that was his biggest
Yeah,
name
and he's a bit
versus
over
like,
the hill.
yeah, and that gave him the most trouble. Like I think he got the knockout in like the 9th or 10th round. Like it went pretty late. Versus Tyson Fury's got, I would say, the better resume. Like he took the title off Klitschko. Like that's
Yeah,
legit. That ended that like 9-year
and
heavyweight reign.
that was before Klitschko was like it was before Anthony Joshua fought Klitschko.
Yeah, it was before he
You
was
know, like
beatable. He's beatable now because
yeah.
Tyson did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
So and so did Joshua, but I mean, fucking, he gave Joshua some trouble. Like that was a tough
it
fight
was a tough fight.
for Anthony Joshua. So I mean, the winner of this has to fight Anthony Joshua and see that will be really the biggest fight.
Yeah,
But these guys have been doing a great job promoting this and like really getting people into boxing.
yeah,
And like it's hard to get people into boxing in North America right now, unless it's a Floyd Mayweather fight or unless it's a Canelo Alvarez fight. There's really not like a huge draw for it here, and I think that like seeing Tyson Fury on the Breakfast Club and
yeah.
seeing Deontay Wilder like on these hip hop stations and on like these mainstream media and everything, it's I think if this is a good fight, it could really get more eyes on boxing, which I would love because I'd love to cover a lot more boxing on this show.
Yeah, I agree. And Deontay has the tools and the look and the talk. He has everything to be like a Lennox Lewis or a Vander Holyfield.
Yeah.
Like he has that. It's just there's no one looking at boxing right now. He just needs this
No.
spotlight, which is coming to him.
Well, yeah, and
or Fury's gonna win.
Him versus Joshua would just be such a good fight because there is bad blood there, and everybody's saying that Joshua's running from him because that was supposed to be the next fight, especially with Tyson out with his mental issues. Like everybody kind of counted Tyson out, so now that Tyson's back and like. The betting odds are going to be going to Wilder, but Tyson Fury it has more of a technical background, but Deontay's got that wild style that can just fucking clip anybody. It's clipped 39 guys, but it's not clipped in shape Tyson Fury yet.
I think that's where I'm still on the fence. Where Tyson says everything, that he dropped all the weight, he's back, he's got better footwork, he's got, the better jab, he has all these punches, and Wilder's only got a lucky punch. Like, he says all these things, but I haven't really seen it yet in the comeback. Like, he came back about a year ago. Not even a year. It was in June, and it was like a 4-round, and the guy quit on the stool. And then he fought again in August, and it went to a decision, if I remember correctly. But it wasn't like...
so he did fight again.
Fought twice.
He did fight again after the guy sat on the stool.
Yeah, he fought
and he did. And Tyson didn't look that great in that fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love the story of this is the big comeback, and he's more technical, and he's got the footwork and all that. But it's like, I didn't actually see that in his last... I saw that 4 years ago, of course. When Tyson was like 28 years old. But now that he's like up into his 30s and he took a big layoff, like I actually haven't seen that yet. Whereas Wilder is still like a phenom. who's only been
And he's
boxing like fucking
active.
6 years or something.
Yeah, which is he's just an insane
Yeah, he
athlete.
just picked it up because he's like, I could probably be good at this, and he's a world champion. Like,
Yeah. And overseas, there's no lack of fucking boxers, man. There's
no,
like
God no.
some real talent over there. Like, oh man, in the UK and Russia and everything, like boxing is fucking huge. So it's there's some real competition out there,
I
and I
saw
really
the
hope the problem with boxing is just the way that it's set up. There's too many different organizations, and the judging is always fucked. Like
yeah.
it's just like
If Adelaide
all I
Bird is
want.
fucking on the card this weekend, I'm not
Uh,
watching it. Turning it off, no matter how
all
excited I am.
all I want is like a good fight with fair judging. Like you shouldn't have to pray for that when you're watching a fight. It should just go hand in hand. Like I don't mind a technical fight like watching Floyd Mayweather with his movement and everything. If you're a boxing fan, you want to see it. But you want to see the fucking results on the scorecards the way that you see them with your eyes. Like, there's
Yeah,
no way Triple G lost that first fight against Alvarez. Like, that
yeah.
was it was just. And the second one too. That one could have been a draw. It was closer, but I mean, the first one, Triple G won that fight, and it was a draw, and it was just complete bullshit. And like that goes back to the fucking Golden Boy. So hopefully, Showtime's. This one's on Showtime, right?
Yep. In the
I'm
United
pretty sure.
States.
And yeah,
BT
and then
Sports for
BT
me.
Sports.
Woo.
Yeah. So I'm really just hoping we get a good. I I want to see a big knockout, but I want to see it go a few rounds before someone lands something. I I I, I gotta guess you're going for the Gypsy King because of the name.
I think I'm going with Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Why?
love
Just
Fury as the
because you
character and the way he talks and the story and all those things, but it just keeps coming back to I haven't
do
seen
you
it
buy
yet.
it?
I've heard him
Yeah.
say it a million times and I fucking love it. And I think he's way better as a like a shit talker than Wilder. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like Wilder's consistently been such a good fighter for the last 5 years.
And he's a great story too, man.
Yeah,
Like
of course.
for coming out of nowhere and fucking beating the shit out of everybody, 39 knockouts. And if he can knock out Tyson Fury, that's like a real one on your resume. A
Yeah.
real,
Oh
real one
yeah.
on your resume. So I'm
And you,
I'm
you hear all
I'm
the
gonna go. Sorry, go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, like, you have the greatest boxer of all time, Floyd Mayweather, is at 50-0, and then we have Wilder here at 40-0. It's like he is so close to being like he's already widely he's the world champion. Like it's already he's the best heavyweight fighter right now. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as like him being in that league of Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Jack Johnson and all these like legends, like we're in that time
Yeah,
frame right now. He's at 40-0. Like that is crazy. If he
but he
wins
needs
this,
those. He needs those big fight. He
he
needs
needs
this
his
fight
his
in his
next 10
career.
have
You
to be
know.
yeah. He needs those names, even if it's to fight like a Klitschko again or something. Like he needs the names on his resume. But
He's
tonight
gotta
or
fight.
Saturday,
The winner's gotta fight Joshua. For
yep,
boxing's
of
sake,
course.
the winner has to fight Joshua. The two biggest names need to fight in their prime. We can't go through another fucking Pacquiao versus Mayweather 10 years too late, man. I want to see this fight when the fight should happen. And I'm happy with either of these guys fighting that man. But
You know what I heard though
I,
before you say your pick, real quick,
yeah.
and it kind of annoyed me. I
Hmm.
saw this morning that Tyson Fury had a bunch of trouble getting into the U.S. and getting through immigration and like visa issues, and he said that But, after being like held in little airport jail for like 4 or 5 hours, they like finally let him in. And now that he's on U.S. soil, he's not leaving. And he's going to win the title. And from now on, like the rest of his fights are going to be in Las Vegas. And it sounds like, yeah, cool. But I also kind of took that as like, is that him also dodging Anthony Joshua? Like he's not going to go back to
Oh,
London?
but I don't think that's. I thought Joshua was the one who was dodging
I think
Wilder.
that's the way I took it in that case. Joshua seems like the one that's always
Hmm.
got the excuse. But just the way Tyson said, like, I'm not fighting in England anymore, it's like, wait, what? Like, the other
That
heavyweight
doesn't make any
champion is in
sense.
London.
For
Like, why
why
wouldn't
wouldn't
you
you
go
want to
back there and
fight on
fight?
your
Yeah,
yeah
that's
on
what I
your
mean.
home turf? It's you're gonna make more money because it's a bigger draw. It's like if you're fighting Joshua in England, that will be the
Huge.
craziest thing
Yeah.
ever. This is what I want to see out of it. I I gotta go with Fury because obviously I'm friends with you, so I love gypsies.
Yep.
I want to see Fury make this comeback. Fucking woo woo, great, everything's awesome. Him go on, fight Joshua, beat Joshua, and then Wilder and Joshua fight after Fury beats both of them.
Yeah.
Which is like a very like it. That's not how it's gonna go down. I really think that Wilder wins this fight, but I'm picking Tyson Fury so that my imagination can win, kind of. You know what I
I
mean?
think you've swayed my vote. I think I'm
Yeah,
changing my vote to Fury because I want heavyweight boxing to be great again. And I think if Tyson
exactly.
Fury wins the title, like he is going to be that guy that boxing needs right now.
And I think the good thing about having this fight instead of the Joshua fight, like I think that um Fury's been able to become a big enough star in the United States that he can be a household name here and over
Mm-hmm.
there. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's not like he's done such a good job with the PR on this that if he wins, it's he can be the Conor McGregor of boxing, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
maybe not
definitely.
to that magnitude, but like I mean, but almost.
Almost, of
Why
course.
not? You know, and he's a young guy. He's 30 years
He's
old,
30.
man.
Yeah.
If he wins this fight, he's got a long career ahead of him, and he can make fucking he can make that story. He can make that fucking heavyweight, like you said, great again, for lack of better words. You
Yeah, yeah.
know?
I hate that that's a
I know.
controversial thing to say.
Fuck.
I didn't even think of it till after I said it. But yeah, like the
I
heavyweight
know.
division needs to go back to the 1990s of just
Yeah.
legit contenders in the wings.
Hmm.
Tyson ran the show, but you had Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and Tyson or Mike Spinks. You had all these guys like right there.
Yeah.
Um,
Some great
Even
boxers.
George Foreman came back out of retirement in the 90s. The 90s was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it was the best, man. Like ever, all the celebrities were going to the boxing matches, you know, and it's like, and and you, it it's how they always say it in the UFC too. If you're the heavyweight champion, you're the baddest man in the planet.
Right.
Like, so that's what you want to see. You want to see the biggest, strongest guy, and forever the smaller guys have taken it over, and I love it because I'm a smaller guy. But you want to see the biggest,
Yeah.
strongest guys fucking put on a great show, man. And I just want this to be a great match. Like I want this to be one of those ones that you go back and like when like if boxing takes off again right now for 10 years, if it goes on like a decline and we can be talking or people our age can be talking about these fights the way that we're talking about the Mike Tyson fights when we were younger.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I want that resurgence so bad, and that's why I think that scenario, in my opinion, is the
Yeah,
best
is the
thing
best
for
one.
boxing.
I agree. Yeah. Fury has the
So,
personality and the character to be. He's literally
yeah,
some
he's
like
fucking crazy.
Irish gypsy dude. He's like
Yeah,
7 feet tall, almost
yeah,
400 pounds.
he's so big, man. They're such big guys. Yeah, and he's gonna, after he wins too, he's gonna do, if he does win, he'll do a huge American tour. He'll be
Oh
right
yeah.
on all the talk shows, everything. Like, and I think that I just don't see Wilder making as big of an after splash that Fury will make if Fury wins.
Yeah, I think it
Because I
would.
like both these
I
guys,
love
man.
both.
Like
Yeah, I love
like
Deontay, but I think you're right. I think if Deontay wins, the story will be about Tyson lost
yeah.
and his comeback failed, not Wilder is like untouchable. It's like, oh, Tyson came up short.
Yeah, it's always going to be with Wilder, no matter who he fights, he'll never get that. Like, even though Tyson's a huge name and has real fan recognition, he's still a guy who's coming off of a rough patch and everything.
Hmm.
Like, it can still be chalked up to that. Whereas, which the only way to rebuttal that is the Joshua fight. So
Yeah,
there's
he's got to.
one more obstacle before you can make this heavyweight boxing fucking legendary again. You know,
Yeah,
I think Fury winning is. I mean, I'm sorry to repeat myself, but that is the way to make it the way we want it to happen. You know,
yeah, I'm with you.
and
Um, I'm
I'm
pumped.
kind of sick of so much gold in boxing. Like, they really need to, like, come on, man. We get it. You guys like gold. Fucking chill out. Like, oh, man. And you got to respect the fact that Tyson Fury rocks short shorts.
Yeah, yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, short shorts are chill, especially on a fucking wide white dude with
Yeah,
no hair.
Henry Rollins
with
style.
with some serious damage. Throwback to the age. We're recording this bonus episode the same night. Spoiler alert! But in between episodes, I tried to call HP to get out of whatever revenge he's trying to pull on me.
No answer.
So
He left you
yeah,
hanging.
no answer.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no. I text nothing. So I don't know, guys. Keep your ears peeled for for
Some
some sort of
social
malicious fucking.
media fucking
Yeah,
trash throwing.
I do not want to be involved in this at all. I'm trying to nip it in the bud before I get dragged through the mud. Anything else you want to add on this fight? I haven't looked up the undercard really. Like,
Boxing's never really
I,
built a card on undercards. It's always
yeah, there was some good fights on the last or on
Lewis
that
Ortiz is
McGregor.
fighting again on this
Yeah.
card. Like
Okay.
there's some fights, but it's always for me anyway, it's more of like I'll sit down and
It's all
watch them
about
all.
the
And it's like,
main
oh,
event.
these are cool, these are
Yeah.
good, but I'm not excited to watch any. UFC, that's why I love UFC. They make the whole card can't miss.
And it's 3 rounds too, right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
UFC, like, you're just like, oh, it's better for your attention span, you
yeah,
know, and it's at the end of the day, like, for people just casually watching, MMA is a more exciting. You're gonna get more excitement out of it because there's so many more ways to get hurt, you know, like, so you have to kind of appreciate the sport of boxing if you're gonna watch a fight where it might not necessarily be two knockout artists.
right.
But this one's gonna be fucking. I just praying for a good fight. That's all I want, dude. Just a good fight. That's just gonna be on the highlight reel everywhere you go. The next morning, it's gonna be like the did you see the fight last night? Did you see the fight last night? Did you see the fight last night? Everybody's gonna be watching it on YouTube. Like people hate fucking like or don't hate, but like don't have anything to do with boxing or MMA, never watched it, them talking about it, just like an old like Mike Tyson style thing. Like that's what I'm hoping out of this.
Yeah. Just blows up the Facebook.
Yeah, man. I want to see that Instagram feed get fired up.
All right, man. Well, let's wrap up this bonus episode.
All right, boner episode.
Bony eps.
And send in some music. Check out Tag In. And
pretty much experts. Check out my other show.
Yeah, pretty much experts. What day do you come out this week?
It's coming out Thursday as usual. Audio Thursday videos Thursday. On Friday.
Fuck, can't wait, man.
We got it.
Can't wait. Tell the boys I said what up.
I will. You don't lose any funny games this weekend with your boys.
We're talking to our fans because it wasn't my boys who fucking played this.
It was allegedly the brother of your boy.
It happened in your house.
One round.
One round. I wonder how many rounds of this there was. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for checking out this bonus episode. Short and sweet, but fucking.
It's two this week. Come on.
Let's make this heavyweight boxing special again. Let's say that instead
Hopefully it's a sick fight, and then next week we have to do another bonus episode so that we can talk about it on its own show.
If it's a good fight and if it goes to decision and it's judged properly, or if there's a sick knockout, we do a full bonus episode about the fight, full breakdown, everything we liked, and just fucking let's be so stoked. I'm more excited about this than any of the UFC just because what it could do for the sport.
Oh yeah. This would be the equivalent of DC fighting Michael Bisping. Like the two best of all time.
Or Rockwell versus Weidman, just knocking each other out at the same time. Yeah. And then they both retire after.
They both put on their rapey sweaters and leave.
They put on turtlenecks. The only person in the crowd is Bill Cosby. Just like flipping Quaaludes in his finger like it's a quarter. Just getting ready. Because they're going to be knocked out from each other. I don't know.
They're looking forward to
it. All right, guys. Fucking thanks a lot. Hopefully we can get 76 this week.
Yeah, let's see you next week, and fingers crossed we get some cool comments.
And if you want to do a negative comment, go ahead, but we accept positives as well. We actually are stoked on both because that just means that someone listened and put enough time into our bullshit that they fucking said something about it.
If you take the time to write something horrible about us, we'll fire back for sure. We got nothing better to do than to watch the comments all week.
Yeah, I mean, when you got one coming in.
Yeah.
And we'll get that email set up for next week so that we can share an email. And for next week. So
I'll wrap it up.
Take us out.
We are.
Right, I'll wrap this one up.
You take you do wrap ups on bonus shows.
All right, this is Dudes on Dudes Fighting. We're out. We love you guys, and fucking heavyweight boxing kicks ass. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.